Hey guys, welcome to Modern Life for the 70's Mind. My name is Bob, and I'm coming back again with another reaction video to something that's going to be a little different than what I've done in the past. Um, but first, as you know, my last video, I started doing a segment, the pre-reaction video, a segment of what did Bob find in his basement? I recently moved all my things from 4 or 5 different rooms into one. And in the process in doing that, I found a lot of items, some honestly I forgot I even had. So, what I'm doing, if I can find some older things to show you to kind of bring back memories from back, in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, that you might find fun, or at least fun to see again. So, with that, what did Bob find in his basement this time? So, this will be something that I think you guys will get a little bit of a chuckle out of. I believe it's illegal at this point to even sell these. That's a hint. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. I think for that reason I still have it. Otherwise, I would have tried to sell it or something. But what I have is. Are you ready for this? Let me shut this off like last time. There. And I'll move the microphone over here temporarily. Okay, hopefully you can still hear me. I found jarts. These things have been known to literally kill people. But welcome to the 70's, or whenever it was that these came out. I took one out of the box, so if you weren't familiar with them, basically the best way I could describe this game is maybe horseshoes with missile launching. You would launch these darts with a sharp point, a heavy weighted sharp point, and try to get it into a circle. Here's what one of them looked like. Apparently, other kids were doing exactly what I was doing. When we were young, we would launch them up in the air and see where they come down. Well, if you weren't watching, those things would come down and just hit you on top of the head. And with the weight of these and the speed that they come down, I can see why they were dangerous, and I can probably see why they were banned. The only damage I ever did, I think, one time, and I was heartbroken over it, I launched one up in the air. It kind of went into the neighbor's yard and landed smack dab in the middle of a little bird's nest in a tree, right down the middle of it. I don't remember to this day if there was anything in the nest, but I know I had some major guilt. So these are some of the fun things we got to grow up with when we were younger. I know some of the other things that were really dangerous, like you always say, it's hard to believe we survived. There was a game called, I believe it was called the Atomic Energy Lab, that I think actually had some type of radioactive material in it. Thus the phrase atomic energy lab. And that's always good for kids to play with, just to get familiar with science, because science is important. Then another toy I know that I played with were those clackers. I think they still have them today, but they're made out of plastic. They're like two balls on a string, and then you go like this, and the balls hit each other. They were made of glass. So it's always fun when you start bouncing glass against each other that these pieces of glass come flying off of it. So that was fun. Trying to think what else. There was a lot of guns and crossbows and stuff that launched any number of projectiles that I'm sure were dangerous. We even used to play army with our BB guns. And you didn't have to worry about people lying if they got hit, because if you hit somebody with a BB gun, you'd hear them yell, and that's an instant kill. But it was fun. We had a good time. Like I said, it's surprising we lived through it. I do remember also, just to continue real quick, playgrounds. Playgrounds had these metal slides. Do you remember sliding down them when they were so hot? And you'd basically leave like 5 layers of skin on the slide as you went down. And there was also these roundabouts at playgrounds where it was a big round platform that everybody would stand on, and you start spinning it. And the trick was to throw the people off. People who were brave enough to stay on this thing as it got faster and faster were literally shot out like a cannon out the side of this thing, which was fun. And the games were, a lot of the swing sets, I mean, they were really high. So the odds of hurting yourself if you fell were probably fairly great compared to today's world. And the only other one I can think of is they had a teeter totter, and they have those. They may have those still today, but this teeter totter was sat high, and it was basically a ladder, so you would hang from it instead of sitting on it. So if you're going back and forth and somebody lets go, this ladder comes and bangs you on the head, which was always kind of fun. Other than that, there were all sorts of games that were so dangerous. Safety wise, we didn't have car seats. Seatbelts were in cars, but no one used them. We didn't use bike helmets. Our parents would smoke in the car. Just good things that I think this should have been carried over in today's world, but I'm joking. Anyways, good times. Somehow I made it to 2022, so all is good, I guess. Okay, I'm going to get my stuff together for our reaction video, so give me just 1 minute. And sorry to keep swinging this thing around, but it's actually kind of fun. It makes a good pointer, too. Let me get this together, and I'll get right back to you on our next part. Thanks, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. As you may know, my channel, I try to center around bringing old music with new music, or at least finding some common ground. A lot of people, even friends of mine, I won't mention names, feel that at 1979 music came to an end and everything else doesn't matter. I like the earlier stuff, but there's some really good newer music out there, and I think it's important to make note of that and if to have some fun and learn a little bit about it. In trying to find a song, I did come across one that I really enjoyed. It was written by John Prine. Anybody who knows him knows that he was an extremely talented songwriter. He did sing. I don't think he was known as much for his singing as he was for his songwriting. I know in many ways he was compared to the writing style of Bob Dylan, which is a huge compliment. And he did, I think he won a couple Grammys, 2 or 3 Grammys. I don't know when they were or even what they were for, but I know he is a Grammy winner. And unfortunately, he passed in 2020 due to COVID complications. So that was kind of a sad loss. He was from Maywood, Illinois, which I'll go really quick into this. Maywood has a special place in my heart. It's a suburb of Chicago, just like I'm in. And they used to have a really small, rinky-dinky harness racetracking course. It was like a merry-go-round. The final stretch, I think, was like 20 yards. I was in high school at the time, and I put a program together because I fell in love with harness racing. I put a program together to guess who would win the races. Our data processing lab in high school back in 75 or 76 was the size of like a giant garage, and it was full. And it's amazing how much space that those machines took up. Well, on my punch cards, if you remember, there'd be little punch cards, and each line of code would be like one card. So if you did a program that was pretty long, you'd be carrying around like a 2 foot pile of IBM punch cards, which was kind of funny. People would be impressed, and I took any credit I could get. Um, and I made a program that would guess the outcome of horse races. So I got the program for the next day. I punched in the information for the first race, and that night I went to the races. And I don't know the exact numbers. I don't remember, but let's say I said 1, 5, and 7 would come in. Well, it came in like 1, 7, 5. So I actually picked the 3 horses, but just the last 2 were off as far as order. So I'm like, I have got the program. I figured this out. I got the program for the next day. Spent a lot of time inputting in the information on all the races. Went with a lot of money and proceeded to bet on my outcomes, and I lost every one. So needless to say, my dreams of being rich on betting on horse racing came to an end. But anyways, he was from Maywood, Illinois. That's my story. That's probably way more than you wanted to know, but we're fine. I have always liked the music of Bonnie Raitt. I don't know if you know her. She's very bluesy, both vocally and with her guitar. Very talented. I know she's a Grammy winner because I remember one year, I don't know when it was, she just walked away with everything. She did a duet with John Prine, a song that John had written called Angel from Montgomery. The only other person I recall doing that was John Denver, and it's been a long time since I heard it. But I do remember that I was always uncomfortable with the song. I really didn't feel that John Denver was a fit for that song. Just I was never really comfortable listening to it. I just didn't like it. It wasn't John Denver. Don't get me wrong, I love John Denver. Every time I drive and as soon as I cross that Colorado border, I am flipping on my John Denver music, John Denver music, and playing that to Rocky Mountain High. But it just wasn't a good song for him. Where, in contrast, the Bonnie Raitt John Prine version was amazing. So, bring it back to just the last couple days. I was looking around and I found a version of that song from Foxes and Fossils. They are a Atlanta band. I think the band was formed by Tim Purcell. And their name, Foxes and Fossils, comes from the fact that the men, yes, I believe it's just the men, are all older, and the women, the girls, are younger. So this mix of older and younger is something you don't see that often in music. So the band kind of intrigued me. I know one of the girls that sings in the band is Sammie. That's his daughter, Tim's daughter. And I know she's great because I was watching one of her videos where she was actually, I believe, more of a background singer in it. I think another singer by the name it might be Maggie. She did a great job on the lead vocals for Can't Let Go by Linda Ronstadt. And Maggie was kind of in the background. I'm sorry, Sammie was kind of in the background. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, this girl singing the higher pitched background sound was amazing. I mean, Maggie was great as well, but for some reason, Sammie really stuck in my mind. They also, I think that band also sang the CSN song, Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, which I've watched numerous times, and I think they do a really good job on it. CSN is not the easiest band to cover, so I give them a lot of credit for that. I believe they normally just do covers. I don't know of any original music they've put out. I hope they do at some point, but I don't know of any. If they do, Tim, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'll have to research it a little bit more. What I will say about them, they don't put a lot of music out, it doesn't look like, but what they put out, I think they really are very careful that the quality is good. I think they're more concerned about quality than quantity. So anytime you see a new song by Foxes and Fossils, at least the ones I've caught, I'm fairly new to them. I've been pretty excited to hear it. And I was very excited to hear that they covered Angel from Montgomery because I've been a big fan of that song for a while. So let's talk a little bit about the song. It is written, like I said, by John Prine. I think the story is basically written from a woman's perspective. You learn that from, like, I think the very first line in the song. And if I had to summarize what it's probably about a woman wanting to escape her current life. She's clearly not happy, and she's calling out to an angel for help. I believe John Prine used Montgomery in the song because he was a huge fan of Hank Williams, and that's where Hank Williams is from. So, to summarize the song, I would have to say it's probably a song about longing, maybe love, and definitely some regret splashed in there. So why don't we watch this? I love this band from what I've heard of them. I love the song, so I have high hopes for this. Let's see how it goes.
Hey all, so we had this idea a few weeks ago. As I'm sure most of you know, John Prine passed away from COVID complications, I think just a few weeks ago now. So we had this idea for a long time. He meant a lot to a lot of us. I know he meant a lot to a lot of you, so we wanted to do this song in his honor. So hope you enjoy.
Okay, before we get into the song, that was nice. I love when people give shout outs, especially if it's a well-deserved shout out. And it was nice that they took the time to acknowledge his talent and it's just it was nice. I'd like to see more of this. Anyways, that was Sammie. That's Tim's daughter, and she's the one that I had heard sing in the background of the Linda Ronstadt song. Okay, this should go into the song now.
Child who's grown old. If dreams were thunder, lightning desire, this old house would have burned down a long time ago. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster on that old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is such a highway to go.
Awesome. I really liked it. I'm really happy. I'm first things first. As soon as I saw this, I was glad that this is a studio recording. A lot of the recordings I've seen of them, they're outdoor venues at festivals or something. And although the sound is respectable, this is way better. Now, about the sound. You need to be listening to this song in headphones because the sound is crazy good. As soon as it started, the crispness of the instruments, and you can hear the strings. It's crazy good. It's so clear. They really did a good job on, I don't know if it's a recording or production. I don't know how that all works, but the sound is really good. It also the video does a good job of highlighting the instruments. For example, the percussionist has that box that he pounds on. When that sound is significant in a song, they flash over to him and you see him hitting it. That actually brings that sound out more in the forefront, and it allows you to hear it more because you're actually looking at it as well. Trying to think, other than that, I think Sammie's voice was really good. And if I said Maggie was the lead singer of the song, that Linda Ronstadt song. Sammie was in the background. So if I confused Sammie and Maggie, I apologize. Now, again, I'm no vocal coach. I've said this before in other videos, but let me just give you my thoughts. I'd like a lot how she enunciates rodeo. She actually does it in 3 distinct parts, rodeo, and each one has like a different tone to it. I think that really draws that word out and highlights it, which I really like. Regarding the background vocals, I think her voice is a perfect blend with the background people singing, and they obviously have been together for a while and they know each other's styles and voice limitations. So I think it's a nice blend between the two. Wonderful first impression. Let's keep going here.
When I was younger, well, I had me a cowboy. He wasn't much to look at, just a free rampant man. Well, that was a long time, no matter how I tried. Those years just flown by like a broken down dam. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster on an old rodeo. Just give me one
I love what they did there. Before I make a couple other comments, I want to replay this very end. Just before she finished up her last words, you can hear the instruments go do 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 do, and they brought it down, which really a nice little finish to that section. Let me go back.
Give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is such a hard way to go.
I don't know if you could hear that, but again, headphones for this band is excellent because they highlight their instruments so much. I am very, very glad. Thank you, Foxes and Fossils, or Fossils and Foxes, Foxes and Fossils, Foxes and Fossils, for sticking kinda with the Bonnie Raitt version of this song. I think that's the best version, and Sammie's beautiful voice really hit the spot as far as a nice representation of what the song really should sound like. The harmonizing is spot on, and I continue to be impressed with the instrumental side. So here we go.
There's flies in the kitchen, and I can hear 'em buzzing. And I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. How the hell can a person go to work in the morning, come home in the evening with nothing to say? Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is such a hard way to go. To believe in this living is such a hard way to go.
Okay. I don't want to oversay how good this is, but I think it's just beautiful and really well done. There's almost like a dance going on between her just beautiful, clear, crisp voice and the obviously talented musicians. At one point, you can hear Maggie going to this probably the highest note that she sings in a song, and there's no pressure to sing that. She's well within her range to sing it. There's no stress at all, or she's not pushing at all. And it just shows that the range that this girl has, really crazy. The instrumental side of it, and I keep going back to this, but when you listen to the headphones, you really hear it. You hear it throughout the whole song. There's so many songs that I love that the song opens up and you hear the guitar and it's like, oh, this is awesome. Halfway through the song, the music, the guitarist is almost the background because now it's more about the vocals. That's too bad because this is a perfect example how the marriage of the music and the vocal should be together the whole song. They just spot on. And again, like I said, I'm really glad they followed Bonnie's version. I hope someday they could put together an original song, and if they have, I apologize, I don't know it, but I think it would be a really good opportunity for them to showcase or highlight each of the different members' talents, to put a song together that just would really just knock it dead. So well done. Okay, guys, as you can tell, I thought that was a wonderful song. I only said it like 30 times. I think, again, I might have messed up saying Sammie or Maggie. The vocal was Sammie, not Maggie. both are really good. I've heard songs from both of them. Just that this song obviously highlights Sammie's voice. I'm not sure if I was more impressed with her voice, the background, harmonization, or the musicians. It was almost like a trilogy of musical talent. How's that? I think that's what I'm going to call it from now on. You heard it here first. Bottom line, it was a wonderful listen. It leaves me really yearning to hear more of their music, which I'm sure I'm going to do at this point. Again, like I said before, I'm not sure if they have any of their own material or if it's all covers. No disrespect either way. They're really a talented, fun, hardworking band. It looks like, and I think I'm looking forward to hearing more from them. So I hope you enjoyed it. I really love this. Okay, guys, I'll make sure to add a link of this song to the bottom in the description. And you need to listen to this without me interrupting, because it's really a great song. And if you have a chance, put on some headphones, because it sounds way better with headphones. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to my channel like I always ask you to do. I would owe you everything. I really appreciate it. And peace out till next time.